Right, welcome to this review for the brand new Thousand Sons Codex here that Games Workshop have produced. They very kindly sent me a copy along ahead of time and before the pre-orders can be made. So thanks to them for sending it through. And in this video, plan to review the whole Codex, so it'll be from start to finish, even the artwork as well, just going through the whole thing. Then we'll take a look at all the units, the special rules, Warlord traits, psychic powers as well for the Thousand Sons, one of the major aspects of them, and things like stratagems also. So we'll just cover all of that, so you get to see all the rules and profiles and so on. And then it'll be a Tactica as well, so I'm talking about possible unit combinations that might work well if you're going to collect this army, and then a sort of overall army strategy as well, that kind of idea. So I've got mine from Games Workshop. I usually get my codexes from gamingfigures.com. They supply Games Workshop products but at discounted rates. It means you can get a hold of things like your codexes and your miniatures at a reduced rate. So check them out, that's gamingfigures.com. So Thousand Sons, I have to say the colour scheme for them is incredible, with new miniatures as well. They really are a viable army now. And then to top it all off, they've got a separate codex as well, which is fantastic news, because not all of the Chaos Legions get their own codexes. They're quite privileged, really. Perhaps a very strong theme of Thousand Sons, and so Games Workshop have given them their own codex. But that's great news for Thousand Sons players. They've now got their own codex to use to go along with all of those new miniatures as well. So artwork here, this will be in full colour a bit later on. So inside picture here, this sort of gives you a nice colour palette to work from. You don't obviously have to follow their own the colour scheme that Games Workshop give you, but Thousand Sons, they are sort of a fixed colour scheme with some variety, but that's the kind of colour schemes you're looking to use. You've got the famous Thousand Sons blue here, this burnished gold. There's also this sort of electric blue ghostly colour as well. So just the introduction, here's the artwork here. Exceptionally strong theme of these. Heavy sort of ancient Egyptian kind of style, and then this blue and gold look, but it's the right kind of, that blue is an important, that shade, it's got to be right, it's that Egyptian colour. That's Araman, his disc, hacking their way through some Blood Angels units here. By the looks of it. Legion Zinch. Just to give you an idea for the theme of the army, these sorcerers here really just commanding the force, multiple sorcerers, and then these legions of rubric marines. So I was reading up on this, there's a fascinating story behind them, the Sons of Magnus. So if you're into 40k, this is what the Thousand Sons would look like. That's Magnus the Red before he transformed into the miniature that we have now for 40k. Yeah, nice colour scheme for them, even with the red. Planet of the Sorcerers. So this is Chaos Space Marines with a heavy leaning, it's always Zinch leaning for them, and then heavy on psychic powers. And really, you could build an army full of psychers and add a whole dimension to a turn. You know, psychic phase is sort of a small thing usually for most armies, but for Thousand Sons you can really make it a big part of a turn, almost as important as like a shooting phase, for example. So here they are, this is their structure here. Even the units are led by aspiring sorcerers and occult sorcerers here for the Terminators. So that's the classic colour scheme just there, and they have given you some alternate styles that you can go for. So there really are some real different colours you could use. Different type of blue here. The Crystal Harbingers here in purple. Loads of variety. The Prism of Fate looks quite nice with a white shoulder pad just there. Do like the look of that one. They've reversed the armour around here so that you have the golden colour on the inside, and then the actual armour edging is actually a colour. It does look kind of weird. You can look here, even in 40k you can go for Crimson Suns. So if you like the red of the 30k colour scheme, you can still repeat that for 40k. You can go for the Crimson Suns, which is red is nice. No, it does look nice. Be careful. I would be careful of using green, too much green or white. Otherwise, you end up getting like a Christmas theme with them. So go easy on the green or the white. Warp Geists here. Interesting. Those look quite nice. The reflected ones. Nice colour scheme for them as well. So there's plenty to choose from here. I still like the classic style, but these ones are some pretty good options. That's whereabouts they are in the 40K galaxy, fighting against Harlequins. I'm sure it'll be a fascinating battle. Timeline. There he is, Magnus the Red. Looking like that. Crazy artwork here. Here he is leading his force. So I will look at the miniatures, we'll look at them tactically, but also from an aesthetic point of view as well. Just give my own take on that also. So just going to go through the different unit types: the Exalted Sorcerers, Ahriman, Sorcerers, Demon Princes of Tzeentch, Rubric Marines, Scarab, Occult, Terminators, Bestial Hordes, that's your Zangors, Chaos Cultists. I was wondering if one of the things you'll see here is the availability of different units, because I was wondering if they do their own codex, how many regular Chaos units are you going to be allowed to take as well? So you'll see that later on. Chaos Spawn. Utelith Vortex Beasts here. There's a crossing over of some of the Age of Sigmar miniatures. Like here, for example, this is an Age of Sigmar. And then here for Chaos Cultists, see the artwork here. There's your regular cultists that you get in the box set, Dark Vengeance. You see this guy here, these are a box of, I think they're called Acolytes. They are available for Age of Sigmar, and you could convert them over and use that Tzeentch style miniature for a Chaos Cultist, that kind of thing. So that's an option to do. Chaos Spawn. Battle tanks there, we'll cover that. Hell Brutes, as you already get an idea here of what's available. Hell Drakes are available. So you paint them up in the Thousand Suns style, there they are. Painted up in that style just there. Good. Yeah, Demon Energies. And then Demons of Tzeentch as well, so that's going to be included in this book, makes things easy for you. Horrors, Screamers, Flamers, all there. So this is your painting reference here in your army showcase. Get that lovely colour scheme theme of the gold and the blue. There's Ahriman himself. Magnus the Red. Exalted Sorcerers, very intricate plastic kits available now for the Thousand Suns. That's the classic Marines there. They have painted some up in that the different styles. So here is your Crimson Suns. They look nice. Yeah, no, they look alright. Even these ones look quite good. The Hermetic Blades. See, I just couldn't do it. See this here. So a Rhino, just painted blue. I wouldn't be able to do it. It's a bit of an eyesore on the battlefield. Look, see here, beautiful miniatures, and then a blue Rhino. Just I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to bring in Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine regular units if I was collecting them. I would just go for the showcase the miniatures. There's a Hellbrute painted up there, and they've done a pretty good job painting up a converted sorcerer as well, giving him one of the helmets for the Thousand Suns, and he looks pretty good. There's the Zangors. I reckon they'd be tricky to paint, but very, very nice looking miniatures. They really do look good. So Zangor Shaman and Zangor Enlightened. Now I think this Shaman here is from Age of Sigmar as well, so it's fascinating. There's a fair number of miniatures crossing over into 40k, but it makes sense to do it, and commercially as well for Games Workshop. You know, they sell them in one system, sell them in another. It makes good business sense to do it, and I can't see it's going to be any problem. I think it'd be nice for 40k players to gain access to some nice Age of Sigmar models without having to collect Age of Sigmar. If you don't want to, you can drag them into 40k. Just giving you an idea of the structure of the force. It's not heavy on vehicles, just a smattering of them, but it's really the Rubric Marines here, the Sorcerers intermingled, the Terminators were sort of the main kind of feature, and some key HQ choices as well. So that's the showcase then, and painting reference. This is a full-on codex here. It's fantastic to see what Games Workshop are doing with these new codexes. So Warriors of Lost Prospero, some rules now. We're going to start on the rules and we'll get into the units. So abilities, the following ability is common to several Thousand Sons units. Death to the False Emperor. Each time make a roll of a 6+, this is a standard Chaos roll here. 6 is in the fight phase. If you're targeting the Imperium units, that's all your Space Marines, Primaris Marines, Astra Militarum, all those kind of units. Immediately make an extra attack using the same weapon. These extra attacks cannot themselves generate any further attacks. It's pretty helpful actually. You start getting a lot of attacks coming through. You really are going to push up your hits with that. Demonic Ritual. Instead of moving in the movement phase, any Thousand Sons character can, at the end of their movement phase, attempt to summon a Tzeentch demon unit with this ability by performing a Demonic Ritual. The character cannot do so if they arrived as reinforcements this turn. Roll up to 3 dice. You can summon to the battlefield 1 new Tzeentch demon unit that has the Demonic Ritual ability and a power rating equal to or less than the total result. This unit is treated as reinforcements for your army and can be placed anywhere on the battlefield. It's wholly within 12 of the character and is more than 9 inches from an enemy model. If the total roll is insufficient to summon any unit, the ritual fails and no new unit is summoned. If you roll any doubles, character receives a mortal wound. If it's a triple, it's D3 mortal wounds. There's not much of a penalty there if you fail. I think it's a great idea, but for 8th edition, this rule for any of the factions that can do this kind of thing really has been messed up in my opinion. Unless I'm getting the rules wrong, you have to. I always like the idea of getting 3 units by it. Like Tyranids, you could breed new units, add them to your army. Necrons, you could construct new units, and then for demon type rules, you could summon new units and add them into your force. But now, for 8th edition, unless I got this wrong, because I don't usually do this, any reinforcements you propose on having, you actually have to pay for them with your points. So, for example, Chaos Spawn, for example, you want to try and summon that up. You're successful, you will have to pay for that in your original points. That has to come off your final list amount. So there's no freebies anymore. I think that's the correct way of interpreting it. If you're used to doing this kind of thing, maybe leave your comments and feedback about that. Now that it's changed, where you have to pay your actual points to have these reinforcements. It's the way it works now in 8th edition, which I think is a shame. It really does put me off from doing, or would put me off from doing that kind of thing, because you're keeping a chunk of your army off the table and hoping there's some point in the battle it's going to turn up and you're going to be able to summon it and so on. So shame about that. So not too strong around here. I think that's quite frustrating, this Demonic Ritual special and Death to the False Emperor. It's okay, but it's not a blanket rule that you're always being enhanced by. It's only when you come up against Imperium, but half the time you will be fighting against Imperial forces. So not the strongest I've seen, mate, for the different codexes. So Ahriman, first of all, as an HQ, the model's really nice, and he will cost, here it is, name characters. So if you take him on foot, which I suppose you could magnetise, if the kit comes separate, you could magnetise his feet onto a base and then onto that disc. 131 points on foot, and then includes all your war gears. There's nothing else extra to pay. So you can go for Ahriman on a disc of Tzeentch, as you see there, and it's 166 points. So it's pretty cheap for an HQ. It's not bad. So it's power level 7, movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9 and 3 up save. The stat line's alright. Comes with the black staff of Ahriman, an Inferno bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades, only 1 per army. So the Inferno bolt pistol, cover that now. It's 12-inch range. which is good for a pistol. Pistol ones, remember, you can fire it whilst you're in close combat. That does rarely happen though. Strength 4, and then AP -2 and 1 damage. So that's that Inferno rules for the small arms fire from the Thousand Suns. That famous minus on the AP value, pretty good. Just continuing over from 7th edition, used to be AP 3. Anything with 3 up armor would bypass, but now it's -2 off your armor, which is helpful for things fighting against things that have like a decent armor save, like a 2 up armor save, Terminators and so on. AP -2, very helpful. So the Black Staff of Ahriman here, it is +2 strength, so he'll fight at strength 6, and it's AP -1, and then it's 3 damage. So flat 3 damage. Nice. Pretty nasty. Frag grenade, crack grenade, just the usual rules for them. The Disc of Zinch, it's strength 4, it's a melee weapon, AP -0, and then 1 damage. After the model on this mount makes its close combat attacks, you can attack with its mount. Make 1 additional attack using the weapon profile. So you get 1 attack at 2s to hit strength 4. No minus and 1 damage. So you might kill someone with it, it's pretty tame. It's very tame, just 1 attack. D3 perhaps may have been better, D6, something like that, but just 1 attack. Ahriman may ride a Disc of Zinch, +2 power ratings, makes him power level 9. If he does so, he loses infantry, gains demon, so that's 5 up in fun, cavalry, and fly. His move characteristic is increased to 12 inches, and his disc will attack his enemies with its blades when he fights. So really you're paying the points mostly for the speed, which is 12. So he gets Death to the False Emperor. The Arch Sorcerer of Zinch, you can add 1 to any psychic test you take for him, so all your psychic tests are +1. That's pretty good. That really is pretty good. It's a pretty reliable psyker. He does have a 4+ invuln save. So it's demon, but he gets a 4+ in save anyway. Then Lord of the Thousand Suns, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly Thousand Suns units within 6 of him. So that's your shooting and for combat as well. So it gives a bonus. It's worth keeping him hanging around with as many units as you can. You can attempt to manifest 3 psychic powers. That's very, very powerful. An attempt to deny 3. Whoa! He is a powerful psyker. He knows Smite and 3 psychic powers from the Discipline of Change. This is the new discipline here for Thousand Suns, and then Dark Hereticus as well is available to them as per the Chaos Space Marines Codex. I think it's the same. So that's Ahriman. He's pretty good really, he's cheap in points and he's a very powerful psyker. He really is good. He may not be the most powerful in combat, although he is pretty good, but 5 wounds, you can hide him behind stuff, he'll be hard to root out. So you know, rate him, seems pretty good. Pretty good. I'll probably put him on the disc. It does look so much better, and then you can move him to where he needs to be. That may well be key for using certain psychic powers. So next HQ, you can take a Demon Prince of Zinch here, and as it is in the regular Chaos Space Marines Codex, it's power level 8. You can go for 146 points for the regular Demon Prince, and then if you take one with wings it's 170 points just to increase his move for him as well. So movement 8. Now what's interesting here is you can take the wings and increase your movement to 12 and it gains fly. Movement 8's quick enough really, so maybe stick to one on foot. 8 inches is fast enough. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength 7, toughness 6. I'll cover this now. I know it's the regular one from. No, there is a slight change here. I'll go through this one here. I know it's features in the regular Chaos Codex here. Strength 7, toughness 6, 8 wounds. Nice lot of wounds. And 8 wounds, I believe, is if he's a character. Yeah, he is. He's gonna be hard to target as well. So it might be an annoying unit to try and get rid of if you're hiding him behind other units. So Demon Prince is a pretty good option. 4 attacks, leadership 10 and a 3-up save. So he's armed with the Hellforged Sword and the set of Malefic Talons. The Malefic Talons are free of charge, 0 points, and the Hellforged Sword is 10 points. The Hellforged Sword is strength for the user, which will be strength 7, AP minus 2, and a straight 3 damage. Pretty nasty. The Malefic Talon is AP minus 2, strength for the user, and then 2 damage, which is still pretty good. Each time this model fights, make an additional attack with its weapons. That gives them an extra attack. That's 5 attacks. Model armed with 2 sets, so you can take 2 sets of them. Makes 3 additional attacks with them instead. So that then gives him 7 attacks, which is pretty good. Yep. And the second set would be 10 points. So imagine that would be worth doing that. All the weapon options seem pretty good. You can go for Demonic Axe. It's just 10 points. It's pretty cheap here. Demonic Axe then gives you +1 strength, so makes you strength 8, AP minus 3 and 3 damage. It's pretty good vehicle killer there. It is -1 to hit, but it's 2 to hit anyway, so you'll be on 3s to hit. 4 attacks, you should get 3 hits. Not bad. Difficult choice there, all pretty good, those options. So you get Death to the False Emperor, so remember that even for him, fighting against Imperial units, any 6s which will really help him out, you get extra attacks. Yeah, here it is. Ephemeral Demon, you get a 4+ Invuln save. Instead of 5+, it's 4+, so that really helps him out. And then Prince of Tzeentch, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for any 1,000 Suns and Tzeentch demon units within 6 of him, so he gives a buff as well to units nearby, reroll 1s. And on top of that, looking at about 150 points this model. It's a fantastic stat line, deadly in combat, tough enough, gives a buff, and he can manifest 2 psychic powers in each psychic phase and attempt to deny 1. You know, Smite and 2 powers from Discipline Change, Dark Hereticus, and all the Discipline of Tzeentch. So yeah, there's Discipline of Change is another, they got access to another discipline as well, so 3 disciplines available to the 1,000 Suns. Wow. Pretty good. And great value in points, so rate that one. So there's that one. Now we have Exalted Sorcerers next. We're still on HQs. This is a lovely kit here. You get a box set and you get multiple options for these. So Exalted Sorcerers, power level 7. So regular Exalted Sorcerer on foot is 112 points, and if you put him on a disc, he's 132. So you pay an extra 20 points to gain that mobility. Stat line, it's a slightly cheaper option than him, but not too much, they're still expensive enough. Movement 6 for these. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+, so for a sorcerer, that is a good stat line. 2+ is very good indeed. Strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9 and a 3 up save. If you're armed with a Force Stave, and the Force Stave is 8 points. And then an Inferno Bolt Pistol, which I think you have to pay for. Yeah, it's 1 point, no big deal. Frag and crack grenades. So you've seen the Bolt Pistol already. You can go for Plasma Pistol, which is regular rules for that. And then you can go for a Warp Flame Pistol. Just check the costs here. Plasma Pistol is 7. Warp Flame Pistol is 7. And that will be like a hand flamer. Yeah, pistol D6, strength 6, so range 6, pistol D6, strength 3, -2 on the AP, 1 damage. It's auto hits. Interesting, the pistol. You know, you can fire it, you can overwatch with it, and if you're locked in combat, you can fire it in the shooting phase as well. So it's pretty versatile. The stave is +2 strength, so you'll fight at strength 6, AP -1 and D3 damage. It's nasty enough. You'll be at 2s to hit. So that isn't a bad weapon. Power Sword, you can go for that. Strength for the user, AP -3 and 1 damage. But I'd rate the stave, I really would. Power Sword should be 4 points. It is, yeah. And I'd rate the stave much better. Seeing what the blades can do. So yeah, you can take a Power Sword, you may take a Disc of Tzeentch. You lose infantry, you gain demon, cavalry and fly. So then he's got a 5+ Invuln save. Yeah. His move characteristic is increased to 12 and his disc will attack with its blades. So he jumps from 6 to 12 inches. And again, for a Psyker trying to move around to use those powers where you need to use them, a disc may well be helpful for an extra 20 points. Death to the False Emperor for these. Favour of Zinch does have a 5+ Invuln save anyway, so it doesn't matter yet, regardless whether he has the disc or not. It's a 5+ Invuln. A Lord of the Thousand Suns, you can reroll hit rolls of 1, made for friendly Thousand Suns units within 6 of this model. So he grants a benefit as well. 2 psychic powers, and he can deny 1. Yeah, which is a pretty standard sorcerer. More powerful than your regular Chaos Space Marine sorcerer. Better stat line. Yeah, like more attacks. I think their weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+ is really good. So yeah, they're not bad at all. They're okay. Right, so what they've done is they've given you access to Exalted Sorcerer, and you can take a regular Sorcerer, so you can take those and add, yeah, like they'll be cheaper. Regular Sorcerer should be cheaper here. Yeah, 95 points to 112. It's not much difference, but if you want to save on points, you can go for regular Sorcerer here. As per the Chaos Space Marines Codex, your attacks drop down to 3. Your ballistic skill, weapon skill becomes 3+, not as powerful. No, and you don't get the buff either, the reroll ones. So that option's there if you need it. They've added it in. You don't have to get a Chaos Space Marines Codex or do a separate detachment of Chaos Space Marines. You could just, it's in the book, so, which is good. And it's helpful they've done that. So I'm not going to spend too much now because it's just regular rules for them. But I'd say the bonuses you get in Exalted Sorcerer, I would go one of them. Just to reroll the ones. The better stat line. It's an extra wound here. Yeah, it's 5 wounds, it's 4 wounds here. So much better. But you also got access to this one, a Sorcerer in Terminator armor. Interesting. 120 points. So plenty of HQ options. Yeah, because we're still on HQs here. So yeah. So I'm just seeing what else. You can take a familiar for him. You have one to your first psychic test you take from him of each of your phases. And teleport strikes available, so that would be handy. Okay. That's about it. Alright, so that's an option available there. And interesting, Sorcerer and Terminator armor. If you're trying to teleport in your Terminators for Thousand Suns, you want some kind of HQ to come with them, you could take a Sorcerer and Terminator armor because he has the teleport strike. Just adds a nice bit of flexibility here. So plenty of HQs. I was wondering, standalone Codex, you know, they're going to have 1 or 2 HQs, very restricted, but they've drafted some in here from the Chaos Space Marines books, and I'm sure that's going to be, it'll go down well with Thousand Suns players. If you are watching this, you're a Thousand Suns player, and you've been using them with the Index, how well do you get on? It's interesting to see, because they're a lesser, and not as popular as other factions, don't come up against them very much, and been fascinating to hear about how well you get on against different armies with the Index. And then you can leave your comments as well. How well do you think you're going to do with these new rules, new Codex as well? Because it should be a level up. It should push all the Index armies. Should be seriously improved. So far they have been, generally speaking. Some more than others, I think, but it seems to be that the Codex comes out and there's a big improvement. So we're on to troops now. So the first option is, yeah, they've done it again for you. See, they've given you occultists here as well. Just giving you a nice spread of options. So Rubic Marines, they're power level 7 for 5 of them. It's the aspiring sorcerer from the Rubic Marines, 4 of them. Yeah. They're 18 points each. Now what they've done away with here is a point saving for Thousand Suns players. In the Index, you have to pay for your aspiring sorcerer separately, and they're a higher points cost. But that's been done away with here. Aspiring sorcerer is just a regular points cost of 18 points, and you give them the upgrades. So that will save some points for Rubik Marines and the Terminators as well. So that's an interesting net. I'll bring the cost of them down. You still get the aspiring sorcerer, but you're just paying the same amount of points for him. So Rubik Marine, 5-inch move with them. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 7, it's pretty low, and then a free up save. And if the aspiring sorcerer is 6-inch move, and then 3+ is for weapon skill and ballistic skill, same stat line, but you do get, don't get an extra wound, but you do get an extra attack, and you get the extra leadership, which is helpful, pushing them up to 8. You get 4 of them, you can take another 5 or up to 10 or 15, so you can have a massive unit of 20. I wouldn't know it just with the way, be a 500 point unit. And I couldn't do it with the way the morale system works. When you're playing for elite units, you've got to be so careful with morale that you don't lose models just by a poor morale roll and just remove them from players. So you're looking at units of 10 maximum for these, I think. Even that's risky. So 18 points, a fair bit more expensive than regular Marine. There's nothing in the actual stat line here, but you see what else you get. So they come with an Inferno Bolt gun, which you have to pay for as well. It's 2 points. It's the same stat line as a regular bolter, except it's AP -2. It is helpful. You're going to cut down units a lot better with that -2. The sorcerer then is armed with no grenades to these guys, by the way. No, they don't have any grenades. The aspiring sorcerer is armed with a force stave. We've seen that in the Inferno Bolt pistol. So you'll be looking at 8 + 1, so 9 points for those upgrades on top of your 18. The aspiring sorcerer can take the warp flame pistol, plasma pistol. We've seen that. So you can go for a Soul Reaper cannon for every 10. Yeah. For every 10, you may replace one bolt gun with a Soul Reaper cannon. So if you want that Soul Reaper cannon, you've got to take 10 of them, minimum. Interesting. Soul Reaper cannon is 15 points. Which I think is a points reduction, they were 20. Range 24, heavy 4, strength 5, AP -3 and 1 damage. It's pretty nasty, it's pretty nasty. Then it says any Rubik Marine player may replace his Inferno Bolt gun with a Warp Flamer. So you save the 2 points you would have paid for the Bolt gun, and then you pay 15 points for the Flamer. It's more expensive than a regular Flamer, but range 8, assault D6, strength 4, -2, and then auto hits on the target. Pretty good for protect. These guys may not be the best in combat just with 1 attack, but take some Warp Flamers to protect yourself from being charged. It's pretty deadly Overwatch if you took 2 or 3 of them. Hit your opponent with a load of auto hits. Strength 4 -2, so pretty good. For every 10, we've covered that with the Soul Reaper. 1 Rubik Marine may take an Icon of Flame. So an Icon of Flame is 5 points. At the start of your psychic phase, roll d6 for each unit with an Icon of Flame. On a 6, inflict a mortal wound, the closest enemy unit within 12 of the model carrying the Icon of Flame. So you just get 1 roll. It's not 1 roll per enemy unit within 12, which may have been a better incentive to take one of those, but it's a 6. I suppose maybe if the game went on, you know, how often are you going to be within 12 inches of the opponent and they're needing that 6? Shame that, I don't think that's particularly strong, but maybe you've got to spare 5 points. Putting a list together, you could just use up the 5 points, and it does look cool, the flame. Stratagem, yeah. See, there it is there. these green blue flames coming. It does look cool. Doesn't seem that effective, so probably wouldn't bother with that. So Death to the False Emperor, remember that in combat, extra hits come through on 6s. All is dust. This is a major bonus here. Add 1 to saving throws for Rubric Marines if the attack has a damage characteristic of 1. So it's mostly for small arms firepower. So a plasma pistol, firing at regular rate, bolt guns, las guns, anything that causes damage 1. Heavy bolters. So it's +1 on your armor save. So their armor save, if there's no minus on the AP, their 3+ armor save becomes 2+. They turn into Terminators there against smaller armed firepower. So that's going to really help out to keep them alive. And it just offsets some of the damage coming through. Say a heavy bolter, -1, 4-up save, then becomes a 3-up save with that all its dust special roll. They do have an invuln save, favoured of Zinch, so 5+ invuln save available for them as well. So that's very helpful. And then the Icon of Flame we've covered. So the Aspiring Sorcerer can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power in each psychic phase and attempt to deny 1. He knows Smite and 1 psychic power from Discipline of Change. Yeah, that's changed as well. I'm pretty sure that's changed. Yeah, it has, because he, in the old index, they knew Smite. It was a weakened Smite, and I think that was it. But now, they can choose a power as well. When the Aspiring Sorcerer manifests Smite, he inflicts 1 mortal wound instead of D3, or D3 mortal wounds instead of D6 if it's more than 10. So the weakened Smite has remained, but these guys have gained access to psychic power. Nice. And they've come down in points. You're paying the same price as a regular, so there's a real bargain there. The Aspiring Sorcerer really is a bargain. And remember that what might be crucial as well is the attempt to deny 1. You know, unit targets your unit. You've got a level of protection there. So they should dominate. As far as psychic powers is concerned, when a battle's raging, the Thousand Suns, if you go for the psychic theme, they should dominate here. Superior psychic ability of them. A real bargain that with the Aspiring Sorcerers, and I guess it will be the same applied over with the Occult Terminators as well. So Rivet Range, yet the mainstay of your army, although they are pretty expensive. If you go for multiple units of them, your army is suddenly going to look quite small. So what you can do is then bulk out your force with cheaper troops choices, and these are helpful for trying to create battalions. I don't know if you can do brigades for Thousand Suns, may well be difficult. Maybe not. These troops are very cheap, but helpful for bulking out troops on your army and actually physically bulking your army out as well, making it bigger, have a bigger template on the table. So Zangors, first of all, they are beautiful models. They really are good. They're 7 points each. It's power level 4. And that gives you 1 Twist Bray, that's the leader, and then 9 Zangors. You can include up to 10 additional or 20, so you go massive units of these. They're armed with Zangor blades. So I take it you don't pay out for these here. Zangor blades. No, the bolt and the auto pistols 0, chainswords 0 as well. So it's a flat 7 points each. So you get a 10, 70 points, just nothing. And they fill out the table. I mean, they really look something. They really look. There's quite a bulk to them. They look more than what they are. I think maybe they're deceiving the opponent. Opponent thinks, oh, what's this unit here? And not knowing it's just a cheap 70 point unit. But it'd be disheartening. I think you paint a load of them up and then your opponent blows them away easily. Could be quite hard to take, but because they are cannon fodder here. Any model may replace its Zangor blades with an auto pistol and chain swords. You can. Right, okay, interesting. So you can mix and match. I'm not sure if you used to be able to do that. So it's any model, so you can go for mixtures. You can go for blades and pistols and chainswords intermingled in the units. 1 Zangor may take a Brayhorn, which is 10 points. That will give you +1 to advance and charge rolls for units that includes a Brayhorn. So if you want a bit of speed, a bit more reliability on the charge, then that may well be an option. Yeah, the Brayhorn's pretty helpful. And look, these guys come with Aura of Dark Glory, 5+ invuln save as well, and the toughness 4. Relic Hunters, you can reroll failed hit rolls in the fight phase when you target a character, so extra skilled against them. I mean, they are 3+ to hit in close combat, so they're not bad at all, really. Any downside is 1 attack each. So look. Oh no, it's all fixed. So you've got your auto pistol there, which is strength 3, and then just 1 damage, no AP, 12-inch range. Then you've got chain swords, you know, you get an extra attack with that, so that's going to give them their 2 attacks. And the Zangor blades as well, is AP -1, and you do get the extra attack with them as well. Nice. So obviously not a powerful unit, but they're not bad, and they're very cheap. And that toughness 4 and 5 invuln will help them out to some degree. So the other option is Chaos Cultists. I'm not going to go through the whole unit here because they are in the regular Chaos Space Marines book, but just exceptionally cheap. They're power level 3, for 10 of them. They cost you 4 points each, quite significantly less than Zangors. So a unit of 10 is 40 points, it's nothing. It really is cheap. Very, very, very cheap indeed. Yeah, no, very, very cheap. The stat line's pretty poor, but then they have a use. They have a tactical use. They really do. You can create screens with these kind of units to protect stuff from deep strikers and so on. You can hide characters behind them so that your opponent has to blow away all the cheap stuff in order to get to the characters. Any Chaos Cultists, they come with auto guns. They replace the auto gun with an auto pistol and brutal assault weapon. For every 10, they can take an auto. They can take a heavy stub or a flamer. The flamer is probably the better option. The auto hits. And the Cultist Champion may replace their auto gun with a shotgun or a brutal assault weapon and auto pistol. So that's that. Oh wow, look at this, another troops option here. So you can go for horrors. I've covered these. I am going to, yeah, I've covered these in the Chaos Demons Codex review. Spent a fair bit of time going through. Yeah, no, I spent a fair bit of time going through these in the Chaos Demon Codex reviews. Check that out for these Chaos Demons units here. So that's horrors, covered them already in that review, but the key point here is that they are accessible from this book. You don't have to take separate detachments by the looks of it. You can intermingle these into your army and build up that as part of your force. So that's interesting. Zangor Shaman, we'll cover this guy here. So he's power level 5. He counts as, yeah, he's an elite here. So we're on to elites now. That was a troop for the horrors. Elites, the Zangor Shaman. He's 82 points. He's armed with a force stave. And I take it the Disc of Zinch is already included in the points cost. I believe so. Yeah. Yes, so the stave, you're just going to be paying 8 points for that. Yep. So we know that one, it's +2 strength, AP -1 D3 damage. So Zangor Shaman, 12-inch move, 3 up, weapon skill and ballistic skills, strength 4, toughness 4, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8 and a 6 up save. So it's not a bad stat line, and he's a fair bit cheaper than something like an Exalted Sorcerer, and that includes the cost of that disc as well, so it's pretty cheap actually. Does have the Aura of Dark Glory, so that's the 5 up invuln. Bestial Prophet, add 120 hit rolls you make for friendly Zangor units within 6. That is a very good bonus for Zangors. That's going to make them 3+ to hit on shooting and 2+ in combat. Could shock your opponent there with some pretty reliable attacks with the help of the Shaman. The Sorceress Elixir, you can reroll the first failed psychic test you make for this model. This ability can only be used once per battle, so it's just a 1 chance of that. Shaman can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power and deny 1. You know, smite and 1 power from the Discipline of Change. Alright, so it's an option, not the strongest of HQs, but or characters, but he's available, and really the main reason you take him is to give the, if you're going to go for multiple units of the Zangors, then He may well be a decent option, because that +1 to hit's pretty good. That really would be helpful. So, next is Flamers. That's covered in the Chaos Demons Codex. Alright, one of the key units. Now, Scarab Occult Terminators, major elite's choice now for the 1000 Suns. So they're power level 11. They're 33 points, and again, there's no breakdown here for the Occult Sorcerer that you get. There used to be a separate points cost, a lot more expensive, but it's not, it's just a regular purchase now. So, big points reduction there overall for the unit as well through that. So, Scarab Occult Terminator, 4-inch move, they are slow. What offsets that is their ability to teleport strike. So yes, if you put them on a table and walk them up, it's going to take them a while. But the ability to teleport strike, and teleport strike now and deep strike in general, you turn up where you want, as long as you keep your right distance. But there's no scatter involved now, and you choose the turn that you arrive. It's very, very reliable, and you can come on turn 1. So that can compensate for the slow move. Once they've landed, they are slow, but you do have that teleport strike, which is fantastic. It really is helpful. Lets you take the initiative with them to bring them in when you want. So movement 4, free up weapon skill and ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 4. They're 2 wounds now. This is a general rule now for Terminators. They're 2 wounds, so very reliable. At 2 up save, 2 wounds. There's a lot of durability for them. 2 attacks, leadership 8, a 2 up save. And then the Occult Sorcerer gets an extra bit of movement, movement 5. Same amount of wounds and attacks, but leadership 9. So that's helpful. Leadership 9 is nice. That really helps them out. So that's unit 5. 1 Sorcerer and 4 Terminators. You can take another 5 of them, so the maximum is unit 10. Each Scarab Occult Terminator is armed with Inferno, Combi Bolter and Power Sword. So you're paying 33 points, Power Sword's 4, so that's 37. And then the Inferno Combi Bolter is 3 points, so they're 40 points each. We've got that right? Yep. Inferno Combi Bolter, 3 points, yeah, so 40 points a Terminator. Which really isn't bad. It isn't bad. And then you're paying for the Psyker there as well. Now we'll just check his combinations, his options available for him as well. I'm just going to look at the Inferno Combi Bolt. It's range 24, it's rapid fire 2. So you can get 2 shots at range 24. And then what's deadly about these is 4 shots at range 12 or less. 4 shots at range 12 or less. It's a lot of shooting. There really is a lot of shooting available from them. And these are coming at strength 4, AP -2 and 1 damage. So nasty enough, that standard weapon for them. Nice lot of firepower. So, and if they were taking regular combi bolters, you know, strength 4 AP 0 and 1 damage is pretty tame, but that -2 is pretty deadly. It really does help them out, so that makes them pretty nasty. Like a guard unit, for example, Astronaut Time Guardsman caught out in the open, just mowed down with no save allowed. When the wounds come through, that is pretty good. So that's the Combi Bolter. That's your standard loadout. 1 Scarab Occult Terminator replaces Inferno Combi Bolter with a heavy Warp Flamer or a Soul Reaper cannon. So that's 15 points. Remember, you don't then have to pay out for your Combi Bolter. If you've got if you've got 10 models in the unit, you can then take a second Soul Reaper cannon or a Warp Flamer or heavy Warp Flamer. Okay. So we know it's 15 points for the Soul Reaper cannon. The heavy Warp Flamer is, ouch, yeah, no, it's 23 points. Yeah. Heavy Warp Flamer, strength 8, sorry, range 8, heavy D6. It's very temperamental that. Yes, you could get a 6, you get a 1. strength 5, AP minus 2 and 1 damage, and it's auto hits on the target. See, I wouldn't rate that, because the problem is when you land your deep strike, you have to be more than 9 inches away, and this is an 8-inch range weapon, so you lose the ambush ability of that. You then have to walk towards your opponent, or they have to charge you. You sort of hand over the initiative when you take that weapon, and it's more expensive as well. So I would go Soul Reaper cannons, which you've seen already. Yeah. Okay. You know, Soul Reaper cannon seems a better option. On Scarab, Occult Terminator may take a Hellfire missile rack. If the unit contains 10, you can the second one can do it. Okay, and then the loadout then for your Sorcerer is Force Stave, Inferno Combi Bolter. Yeah. Now this is another point here. The model is equipped. Yeah, so the Scarab Occult Sorcerer, here it is. The Scarab Occult Sorcerer may replace his Inferno Combi Bolter with a Power Sword. So what happens is you then are being armed, if you go for that option, you're in, this is modelled here, you're then armed with 2 combat weapons. The Power Sword and the Stave, which I think is a total waste. I think you should take the Stave, you have then your close combat weapon, and take advantage of the firepower that's accessible to him, and take the Combi Bolter, so you then add an extra 2 or 4 shots to your list. That's what I would do for him. Otherwise he's redundant, he can't shoot with anything. He's carrying 2 weapons. Really, you'd probably only use 1 in the combat. So the Hellfire missile rack then is 22 points. It is range 24. It's heavy 2, so it's a reliable amount of shots. Strength 8. Nice, so pretty good against wounding vehicles. AP minus 2 and 2 damage. So you're not going to destroy vehicles, but you pick up some wounds on them, for sure. You know, if those 2 shots get through and the saves are failed, you've got potential there of 6 wounds if you maxed out on that, so that's not bad. And another key point here with these as well is their combi weapons is strength 4. Most vehicles are toughness 7, so you'll be needing 5s to wound. And if you get tons and tons of shots, those wounds will come through. And then when they come to take their save, usually a 3-up save on a vehicle, it's going to drop down to 5-ups. The wounds are going to have a much better chance of breaking through. Death to the False Emperor available for them. All is dust as well. So already on a 2-up save, you get hit by a heavy bolter, that would drop you to a 3-up, you go back up to a 2-up. Yep, for them. Fantastic. Very, very reliable. It's really hard to kill them with small arms fire. You need the heavy weapons to take them on. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, because it's the same rule for the Rubric Marines. In addition, the -1 to hit rolls to moving and shooting heavy weapons doesn't apply. So the heavy weapons that they carry, the Hellfire missile rack, the Soul Reaper cannon, no minus to hit. Fantastic rules. Nice, you can just move around with no restriction. Really, really good. Fire and move, no restriction at all. Brilliant. They do have the Terminator armor, which does give them the usual 5-up invuln save available for them also. So yeah, they're a decent unit. They really are a decent unit. I think those Inferno Combi Bolters could be horrific, because to get that rapid fire range is range 12, you've got to land more than 9, so you can ambush and get your maximum rate of firepower from them. It really is good. Yeah, that unit would mow down a unit of guardsmen. Probably no problem at all. Would half kill a vehicle perhaps. Would mow down most of a squad of Marines. Yeah, so pretty good. And then they're not helpless in combat. They can stand up for themselves with their power swords and the Force Stave as well, all available for them. So not too bad at all. So Terminator armor then with their 5+ invuln save as per standard for Terminators. Teleport strike. So you can turn up where you want as long as you're more than 9 inches away from enemy models. And then the Scarab Occult Sorcerer can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power in each psychic phase and attempt to deny 1. You know, smite and 1 power from discipline to change. And then the same rules for smite, they're just a reduced power on that. But no, great unit, really good. Okay, so next one is the Hellbrute, that's that Dreadnought. Now, that's already covered in the Chaos Space Marines Codex review, but just showing you that you're able to use that from within this book. They've drafted in these units, which is good. I think Thousand Sons players will be happy with that, because you think, well, maybe limited number of units here, specific units like these, and then we then have to take a Chaos Space Marines detachment of some kind to add in what you need. You can still do that, but a lot of units seem available here, which is good. At least a spread of units that you can at least have a nice variety in the force. So Hellbrute, Zanga Enlightened next. The Hellbrute is elite. Yeah. So on to fast attack now. So Zanga Enlightened. What they've done is they've given you a fair spread of units for each of the battlefield roles. So troops, elites, fast attack, heavy support. We've all got something, at least. So at least you're able to put together a brigade, for example, and not have to go outside of this codex. So Zangor Enlightened. 15 points each, plus your war gear. So you take, this unit contains 1 Aviarch or Aviarch and 2 Enlightened, so unit of 3. You can take 3 more or 6 more. They start up at level 3. Each model is armed with a Divining Spear. They ride discs of Zinch, which attack with their blades. So that rules there, the discs of Zinch. Pretty cheap then if you get that. They're not bad here. Their movement 12, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4. They actually have 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7, and 6 up save. But no doubt they have a 5 up invuln. Yes, they have an invuln save. I don't know, maybe they will get shot up pretty quick. Yeah. Now, the Divining Spear is a point, so now 16 points a model. Divining Spear is +1 strength, so strength 5, AP -1, and damage is increased to 2 on a turn in which you charge. It's not a bad weapon at all, it's alright. Any model may replace the Divining Spear with Chainsword and an auto pistol, so that's free of charge, that's even cheaper and you're just getting extra attack. Or you can go for a Fate Caster Great Bow, which is 2 points. Cheap enough. It's range 24, assault 2, strength 5, and AP -1. So that's not a bad weapon either. So they seem okay. Bit vulnerable though, 5 up invuln. With nothing else to back it up. Like Rubric Range, for example, it's a 3 up save, and then that all it does 2 up save and a 5 up invuln. For these guys, it's just the 5 up invuln. It makes them vulnerable. You just fire bolters and las guns at them, it's going to bring them down. So. But having said all that, they're cheap though. Cheap enough. But if you get a unit of 3 of them, don't expect them to do very much. You'd need units of 5 or 6 or more to have much effect. Aura of Dark Glory. Guided by Fate. Each time make a hit roll of 6 for a model in this unit, except for the discs blades. Do not make a wound for that attack, it's automatically successful. Nice. Saving throws may be attempted against these attacks as normal. Each time make a hit roll of 6. This is any type of hit. It's auto wounds. Nice. Because it's going to be shooting and combat. So it's auto wounds. Pretty good bonus that. So no, Zanga Enlightened don't seem too bad at all. Don't seem too bad. So then you've got access to Screamers. That's put as seen in the Chaos Demons Codex. That's fast attack here, Chaos Spawn as well, as reviewed in the Chaos Space Marines Codex. For them, the stat line is pretty good. Again, quite weak, just a 5 up invuln, that 5 up regular armor save, no invuln save for them. But there's plenty of wounds, 4 wounds. D6 attacks, so you get a few of them in a unit, and you're not going to do too bad. Then Hideous Mutations, strength for the user, which is 5, AP -2 and 2 damage, and plus that can all be enhanced by these mutated beyond reason extras that you can get. So I don't think they're not too bad even. They're 33 points each. Now, designer's note. It's talking about it here. There are several abilities and psychic powers available to the Thousand Sons that can transform their victims into Chaos Spawn. If such an ability or psychic power instructs you to add a Chaos Spawn to your army, use this datasheet for the model. In a matched play game, you must pay reinforcement points, that's really annoying, in order to use any of the Chaos Spawn that are created. Each has a points value of 33. So it's really annoying, you have to pay for that up front, anticipating that you might cause one of your own or one of the enemy characters to turn into Chaos Spawn. So that's annoying, it is a shame. There's one way around it. There is one way around it, which you'll see a bit later, to do with stratagems, but we'll cover that a bit later. So, a Mutalith Vortex Beast. This is one of the models that's crossed over from, it's this one just here, one of the models that's crossed over from Age of Sigmar, which I think makes sense to do it if they can justify putting these kind of things in. I can't see any problem with it at all. Just seeing if they give you, there it is again, just trying to show you a close up. I don't have it in there, but it's available. Just add a bit more variety to the Codex. So we'll check out the rules for it here. This is all new to me, this one. This comes under, we've done fast attack, we're on heavy support now. So again, just giving you some more options available for heavy support. I guess the rules, people aren't going to know the rules, these are all fresh rules because the rule system's different for Age of Sigmar. So 150 points for this, then you add your war gear on top. It's power level 8, movement is 8, and then it can drop down from 8 to 6 to 4, and then the attacks are 4, drop into 3, drop into 2, and then the vortex power, which we'll check out later, is 2+, 3+, and 4+. So we're on weapon skill 4+, which will not change no matter what happens. Ballistic skill 4+, that doesn't change if the damage comes through. Strength 7, toughness 7, 14 wounds. There's plenty of wounds for this thing. Yeah, it has a lot of wounds. Starts with 4 attacks. Leadership 7 to 4 up save. It's a single model. It attacks with enormous claws and a betentacled maw. Okay, so the betentacled maw is strength for the user, which is strength 7, AP -1 on 1 damage. Make 3 rolls for each attack made with this weapon instead of 1. God. So that's at full capacity, you're on 12 attacks. So that's a fistful of dice there. The only downside is you're at force to hit, so you're going to hit with half them, 6 hits. Now, enormous claws, you'll fight with them, which you just get your normal 4 attacks. It's AP -2 and 2 damage. It's okay. It's Dim Prince are better. About the same cost though. 5 up in 1 save, and then mutant regeneration. At the beginning of each of your turns, you regain the last wound. Okay. The warp vortex. This is the interesting bit here. At the start of each of your shooting phases, you may have this model attempt to use a single Mutalith vortex power of your choice from the table below. Alternatively, you may randomly determine the power by rolling a d6. If you do so, you may attempt a second randomly determined power immediately after resolving the first. Ooh, but a major incentive there to randomise it. Okay, but it's optional. So, for example, you say, right, I have to use this power in this particular phase, then you choose it. If you're open to see what happens, you fancy the extra chance of getting something else, then you just randomise it. Cool. Really depends on what ones are good here. Each time this model attempts to use one of its powers, roll a d6 to see if it's successful. If the result is equal to or greater than the vortex power characteristics shown in its damage table, resolve the power's effects, otherwise the attempt fails and nothing happens. Right, okay, that's where the roll is here. Vortex power. So when you're at full strength, you're at 2+ to make this thing go off. Drops to 3+, then 4+. So, d6 then. Remember, you can choose 1, or you can randomise 2. So, Warp Flare. Each enemy unit within 9 immediately suffers a mortal wound. Cool. So this is the kind of monster you're just going to ram home into the middle of the opponent's force. This is the impression I'm getting with the amount of attacks and so on it gets. Chaotic Infusion. Pick a Zinch unit in your army of a 9, add 1 to its strength at the end of the turn. Pretty tame. Temporal Flux, pick a Zinch unit from your army of a 9. For the beast, you can reroll failed charge rolls. For this turn, if the unit is already within an inch of an enemy unit, they fight first in the fight phase as if they charged. Okay, so yeah, bonuses are quite tame. In Feral Touch, pick a Zinch unit for 9, improve the AP of all melee weapons yielded by 1. For example, AP 0 becomes AP -1. Yes, okay. Maelstrom of Madness, pick an enemy unit for 9, reduce its leadership by 1. This is cumulative with other uses of this power. Not really strong there. Beam of Unreality, roll 3 dice. For each roll of a 4+, it's a mortal wound, right? It's like a psychic power almost. Okay. Yeah. It's okay, there's nothing deadly there. There's nothing utterly deadly there. They're all quite tame. The 1 and the 6 are probably better. Every unit within 9 suffers a mortal wound. That's pretty cool. And then the Beam of Unreality, 4+ is for mortal wounds, pretty good. The others are okay. So then you've got Unstable Energies. If this model has 7 or fewer wounds remaining, so 7 or fewer, right at the... Oh no, half strength then, half your wounds remaining. At the start of your shooting phase, the ranges of its nuclear vortex powers are doubled. So 9 inches goes to 18. However, it will suffer. Oh, that's quite cool for things like mortal wounds within 9. It's mortal wounds within 18. That's pretty good. Yeah. However, it will suffer a mortal wound if you roll a 1 when you attempt to use the power, which is too big a deal. Pretty good that. Warp Implosion. That's just like explodes. Yep. If this model is reduced to 0 wounds, roll a d6 before removing the model from the battlefield. On a 6, those nearby are damaged by searing warp fire as the vortex collapses on itself, and each unit within 6 suffers d6 mortal wounds. So it's pretty unlikely you're going to get caught by it, but if you do, it could be horrific. D6 mortal wounds. Yeah, not sure what to think of that one. It sounds okay, it'd be fun, interesting model, but nothing outstanding for it, but it seems alright. Chaos Predator, so just a regular Chaos Predator, you've got access to that, and again you don't have to go outside the book, you can just take it from here. So you've got all your access to things like your las cannons, yeah, twin las cannons, all available there. So that's that. Check out the rules for that for the in the Chaos Space Marines Codex. The Vindicator is available for them as well. The Land Raider is available for the Thousand Sons also. So that is pretty good news there for them. The Defiler is available. Cool. Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend, all available as well for the Thousand Sons. So decent spread of heavy support options available for them. The Rhinos, you've got your dedicated transport. Look at it though, just a blue thing in the middle of the table. Oh dear. Doesn't look good. Chaos Rhino is available though. You'd seriously weather it up, I think, and try and get some icons. Maybe there's some stuff from Forge Age you could get for it. But it looks miles too Imperial. Really needs work on that. Then the Helldrake, which I'd imagine look better painted up for Thousand Sons. But as I talked about this is a flyer option here. I talked about this in the Chaos Space Marines Codex review, and it's just so tame. It really is. The Bow Flamer here is the real sticking point for that was the D6 shots. So you can fly over a target, yes, I'm going to get them, and you roll a dice to get a 1. And it's just like you're going to get 1 hit at strength 6 -2 and 2 damage. Or you could get 6, which is okay, but... See, in 7th it was the templates. You could line up, you could move, and you'd know how many you're going to hit with that flamer. That was the great ambush thing about it. But for this, no matter how well you line something up, there's no guarantees, so... Didn't rate it. And then you could go for Hades autocannon, but you're at force to hit. And then... see, like 4s to hit, but it's heavy. So you're on -1, so you're on 5s to hit. And then if you're firing another flyer, you're on 6s to hit. So horrific. And then the Helldrake Claws, strength user 7, it's only -1, it's D3 damage. So I found it was so tame. It really was. Which is a shame. Wouldn't call that deadly. The model looks deadly, but the rules for it just not very good at the moment. That one. Ah yes, one left to do. It's nicely balanced codex, so you've got a spread of all the different types. So you've got a Lord of War here, Magnus the Red. So I don't know, I just Thunderfires I call him because he just has. I'm not so keen on the model. This is the one I was gonna. It might not be popular to say it. If you like Magnus the Red, but I'm just not so keen. He's small little head, massive horns, big flowing hairstyle at the back. The wings look fantastic. Brilliant paint job on them. Pink skin, big thundery fires. I'm not so keen on him. No. And then the electric melon thing he's got on the end, no, sadly. So I'm not keen on the model. But we'll check out to see if he's any good. Magnus the Red. He's 445 points. He's power level 23. He's 18 wounds. So he has the damage chart, 10 to 18 wounds. He's at full strength, movement 16, so he's very quick actually, very, very fast. Attacks 7, and the psychic phase bonus of +2. Then between 5 to 9 wounds is movement 14, so it's hardly any drop really, he's still fast. 6 attacks, so it's still brilliant, then +1. And then 1 to 4 wounds remaining, he's still movement 12, and he still has 5 attacks. The damage table, there's no effect, hardly. His weapon skill, ballistic skill, always going to remain at 2+. So, yes, he's on a damage table, but it's not very significant. It really isn't. I mean, movement 12, by the time you take that much damage, you're probably right near your opponent anyway, so that's hardly going to make any difference at all. 5 attacks is still pretty good, no doubt he's armed with horrific weaponry, and he'll still be hitting on 2s anyway, and the psychic phase bonus just drops to 0, so very, very strong at the moment. So 2+ weapon skill and ballistic skill, strength 8, very good, toughness 7, 18 wounds, 7 attacks on normal health, leadership 10 to free up save. He's armed with the Blade of Magnus, which is strength for the user. No, strength times 2. So he'll be on strength 16, AP -4 and 3 damage. So he will hack through, on full strength, he'll hack through most targets. Like a vehicle, I'm thinking of a dreadnought, it just cuts it right up. If a character is destroyed by this weapon, you can add a chaos spawn to your army. Set up the chaos spawn within 6, more than an inch from any enemy models. Now, does that power require reinforcement points? Be cool if it doesn't, but I think it may well do. If you know the answer to that, then leave that in the comments section. Death to the False Emperor, Crown of the Crimson King. He has a 4+ invuln save. In addition, roll a d6 whenever he suffers a mortal wound as a result of perils of the warp. On 2+, it's ignored. So he knows how to master perils, and that fits in with the storyline for him. The Gaze of Magnus. When Magnus the Red manifests the Smite power, he inflicts d6 mortal wounds instead of d3, or 2d6 instead of d6 if the result is 11 or more. Horrendous. Oh, cut down a unit at a turn with Smite. If he rolls high enough. Horrid. Primarch of the Thousand Suns. You can reroll hit rolls of 1, and any dice rolls of 1 that are made as part of a psychic test for friendly Thousand Suns units within 9. So he grants that bonus. Unearthly Power. Whenever he attempts to manifest or deny a psychic power, add the bonus shown on the damage table. Yeah, +2. So he comes with. That's going to really help him get that high-end Smite and any other psychic powers. He can attempt to manifest 3, and attempt to deny 3. He knows Smite and 3 psychic powers from Discipline of Change, Dark Hereticus, or Discipline of Tzeentch. He is good. No, he's very good. He's very good indeed. Can't fault him really. He's pretty solid. He is expensive in points, but he's powerful. He really is powerful. Okay. What a horrific smite though. Really is nasty stuff. So that's the units. Bit of a showcase there, fighting against Harlequins again. Be a classic fight. Okay. So that's the armoury, which we've covered. Another spread of the models here. Big model, Magnus the Red. They've got some of the Marines painted up in different colour schemes here, like this one here's from a different group. Just there. Right, some further rules then. Let's see what Thousand Sons get. So, Sons of Magnus. If your army is battle forged, psychic units in the Thousand Sons detachment gain the Brotherhood of Sorcerer's ability. Those are all of them. In addition, troops units in Thousand Sons gain Disciplines of Tzeentch, or Disciples of Tzeentch. Right, so Disciples of Tzeentch is straightforward, it's just your objective secured. And it's only for troops. Yes, right, so that's standard. Brotherhood of Sorcerers is quite straightforward. All psychic powers manifested by units of this ability are increased by 6. So for example, Smite goes from 18 to 24. Which is, it's all helpful. No, it's helpful enough. If you're going to major on your psychic phase, everything's expanded by 6 inches, it would be helpful. So that's not bad. It really does encourage you to go down the route of majoring on psychic powers there. Okay. So that's that, very straightforward. Warlord traits next. So that's fixed for some of these. Yeah, Ahriman and Magnus the Red. I'll call those out now. So Ahriman's is Unworldly Prescience, or Otherworldly Prescience is here. Improve his invuln save by 1. Right, so he does come with 4 up, he goes to 3 up. So Ahriman has a 3 up invuln save. And that's a fixed Warlord trait. Must be given. Yes, they have to take it. Yep. Right, okay. So you choose a character to be your Warlord. So Ahriman doesn't have to be your Warlord, in which case he won't get the 3 up invuln save. But if he is your Warlord, you have to take that. He gets a 3 up invuln. Magnus the Red, Lord of Forbidden Law, which is here. He knows an additional psychic power. Okay. Alright, so pretty tame really. Okay, so the others then is Arrogance of Aeons. You reroll deny the witch tests for your Warlord, that was alright. Reduce all damage suffered by your Warlord by 1, it's okay. Undying Form. Stride, your Warlord can advance and charge on the same turn and can reroll charge rolls, that's really quick. Yeah, that's pretty good. And the last one here is High Magister. Add 1 to psychic test, you take your Warlord, that's pretty cool as well. But yes, there's plenty to choose from. Yeah, but that one's pretty helpful for Ahriman. That one, giving him a 3 up input. Right, so then we're on to stratagems. Now, do you get 2 pages or 3? They do give you 3 pages, so nice full spread of those. There will be relics coming up later as well. So imagine some of these will match the Chaos Space Marines Codex. We'll see. So Linebreaker Bombardment, yeah, it's the usual. For Vindicators, if they combine together, it's 1 command point. Great Sorcerer is 1 command point. Use this stratagem at the start of your psychic phase. Select a Thousand Sons Psychic from your army. The Psychic can attempt an additional psychic power this turn, just free of charge. So, attempt 1 additional psychic power. So, the question I have for that one, is it any psychic power you want? Can you even use a psychic power you've already used? Or does it have to be one, use an additional psychic power, but one that hasn't been manifested yet? Not sure about that one. 1 command point next for Fire Frenzy. Just before, it's for Hellbrutes. If it didn't move, it can fire all its weapons twice. But all of its attacks must target the nearest visible enemy unit. Okay, that's the same as the Codex, Chaos Codex. Demon Forge. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase or fight phase when a Thousand Sons demon vehicle is chosen to attack. Reroll failed hit rolls and wound rolls for that model to the end of the phase. That's horrific. That is a fantastic bonus. A major bonus. You've got a Chaos Predator, for example. You reroll failed hit and wound rolls for that model, and it's 1 command point. Yeah, use a stratagem in your shooting or fight phase. Or in close combat, you've got a Mauler Fiend. Reroll hits, reroll wounds. utterly deadly. That Demon Forge is very, very powerful, and it's so cheap. Rate that one. Bottom left-hand corner. That's the deadly one. It's the hot dog, as I said in one review, and someone said it was a classic quote. So yeah, that one's the good one. Demon Forge, very, very good, that one. Right, coruscating beam, 3 command points. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase if you have a Thousand Suns Warlord that didn't move the movement phase. Instead of shooting with your Warlord's weapons, pick 2 points to the battlefield that are within 9. This isn't a psychic power, I'm just thinking you can't improve the range on it with your Brotherhood of Psychers, I don't think. And visible to him, and draw an imaginary straight line of 1 millimeter wide between them. Roll a d6 for each unit the line passes over, subtracted 1 from the result. If the unit being rolled for is a character, on a 4+, it's d3 mortal wounds. But you can't move, so you can't line yourself up. Yeah, you can't line yourself up. It's quite rare you're going to get the opportunity. You can't line yourself up to cover as many models as possible. 9 inches is short, and then it's a 4+ to even get that. So difficult to line that one up, and it's expensive as well. Is it worth 3 command points, which could be like half your command points for that one? So awkward, that one. Kabbalistic Focus, 1 command point. Use this stratagem before attempting to manifest the psychic power of Thousand Sun Psyker. It was within 6 of at least 2 other Thousand Sun Psykers. You can add 2 to the psychic test. So +2 on the test, 1 command point. You may well, if you desperately want something to go off really well, and to guarantee it, you need it, it's a crucial point in the game, then play that Kabbalistic Focus. Come on, let's do it. +2, that could really help you out, so that's helpful. But it only applies to that one model. They don't all gain that bonus. So, but thankfully it's just 1 command point. Relics, to access more, you pay 1 relic or 1 command point or 3 command points. Kill Shot is available. Same as Space Marines get, same as Chaos Space Marines get. That's for your Predators. Add 1 to the wound rolls and damage rolls. Nice, it's only a point. So that one's in there as well, very powerful. So it's good if Thousand Suns have got access to all these. Demon Forge is the best so far. I wonder if there's any unique Thousand Suns ones here. So Blasphemous Machines. Use a stratagem before a Thousand Suns vehicle from your army attacks in the shooting phase. Till the end of that phase, that vehicle can ignore the penalties for moving and firing heavy weapons, or for advancing and firing assault weapons. So a bit of a bonus there. You can combine that with Demon Forge, for example, but it's helpful. It's okay. You just ignore the -1. It's nothing major. Warp Flame Gargoyles. Use this stratagem at the start of any fight phase. Pick a Thousand Suns vehicle from your army, but not a Hellbrute or Helldrake. Roll a d6 for each unit, friend or foe, within 3 inches of it, subtracting 2 from the roll if it's a character or a vehicle. On a 4+, it's d3 mortal wounds. So again, if you're in the thick of the fighting, Morphine, for example, surrounded by multiple units, set off Warp Flame Gargoyles, and that could cause trouble. But again, it's a 4+ to make it happen. But cheap enough, 1 command point. A Chaos Familiar, 1 command point. Use a stratagem at the start of your psychic phase. Select a psyker from your army. That model can replace a single psychic power with a power of your choice from Dark Hereticus Discipline, Discipline of Change, or Discipline of Zinch. Okay, so a bit more. You need to change powers mid-game. You can swap them around. And I take it you could swap in and out of a different discipline, maybe. So you say at the start of the game everything's from Discipline of Zinch. Part of the way through the game you want to grab a power from Dark Hereticus, you might be able to do that. It says you can take it from any of those. Sorcerer's Pact here. Use this stratagem when a Thousand Suns character attempts to summon a unit of Zinch demons using demonic ritual. You can roll up to 4 dice rather than 3, and your character will not suffer any mortal wounds for rolling doubles or triples. So it's just more reliable for that one. Just reflecting the superior psychic powers of the Thousand Suns. It's only 1 point for that one. Veterans of the Long War. Use this stratagem when a Thousand Suns infantry unit is selected to attack in the shooting or fight phase. Add 1 to wound rolls for the unit until the end of the phase. That's really good. That is really good. Again, it's combat or shooting. Veterans of the Long War. That's a good one. That really is good. Cheap. The best ones we've seen, the cheap ones. These three along the bottom are the best. I know they're standard Chaos Space Marine ones, but it'd be helpful for Thousand Suns as well. So there's a big one here, Boon of Tzeentch. Now this is where you could get a Chaos Spawn free of charge, I believe. A Demon Prince as well. You can use this stratagem, it's one command point. You can use this stratagem at the end of a fight phase in which one of your Thousand Suns characters, excluding demon characters, slays an enemy character, vehicle or a monster. Roll 2d6 and look up the result below. So you do have to pay your command point to gain access to it, but this is what you can get. So if you roll double 1, this is on 2d6, so the result of a 2. Your character is slain. Oh no. However, before removing the model as a casualty, you can add a Chaos Spawn to your army. If you do so, set up the Chaos Spawn within 6 of the character before removing them. So that's actually a shame because the spawn's 33 points and your cheapest characters in here is 85, I think, so it would be a loss. Arcane Oculum. Add 6 inches to the range of all the characters' shooting weapons. Well, characters aren't really armed with much anyway. Temporal Distortion, add 3 to the character's move. Okay, it helps to some degree. Prescient Foresight. Each time the character loses a wound or a dice on a 6, they don't lose the wound. If the character already has an ability, then you have 1 to the dice rolls. That's okay. Esoteric Insight, add 1 to the psychic test you take. It's not bad. Eye Opens. Choose a boon of your choice. So you just choose what you want. You can't take the first and the last. Aura of Illusion, -1 from hit rolls that target the character. If it's a character, usually he's not going to be targeted very much because he's hiding behind stuff. App of Flame, add 1 to the damage characteristic of his melee weapons. Yeah, it's okay, it's pretty tame. You know, would you use a command point to do that? Add 1 to the character's toughness. Fragment of Immortality. Add 1 to the character's wounds characteristic. Extra wound. I think they're quite tame for using up one of your whole command points. This is the point here. And this one, if you roll double 6, what's the chance? 1 in 36 chance. Your character is slain. However, before removing the model as a casualty, you can add a Demon Prince of Tzeentch to your army. He's worth like 150 points. If you do so, set up the Demon Prince within 6 of the character before removing them. So boons last the rest of the battle. The same boon cannot be received by a model more than once, so you can't stack them up. If this happens, choose a result the model has not yet received, excluding Spawndom and Demonhood. In the unlikely event of a character accruing all of the available boons besides Spawndom and Demonhood, roll a d6 instead. On a 1 to 3 they receive Spawndom and 4+6 Demonhood. Chaos Spawn or Chaos Demon Princes of Tzeentch created by a boon must have Tzeentch keyword, and they do not cost any reinforcement points in a match to play game. So that's helpful. There's no points cost there, so that's how you can get a free one. But what's the chances of that? Not very high. No. So difficult. Right, there's another page here. We'll see what kind of bonuses you get with these. I have to say, so far, the strongest stratagems are regular Chaos Space Marine stratagems. But we'll see if there's any here, any ones on this page. Webway Infiltration, this is helpful. 1 command point or 3 command points. Use this stratagem during deployment. If you spend 1 command point, you can set up 1,000 Suns infantry unit from your army in the webway, instead of placing it on the battlefield. If you spend 3 command points, you can set up 2 in the webway. Any such units in the webway can emerge at the end of any of your movement phases. Each setup anywhere on the battlefield is more than 9 inches from any models. You can use this stratagem once per battle. Yeah, it's helpful. The cheapest option is just 1 command point for 1 unit, 1 decent unit. Yeah, and maybe for example, you've got a couple of unit Terminators, and you want to support them in some way, so then you drag another unit with them, and they all can deep strike together at the same time. It's just cost you a command point to do it. It's handy to get in range quickly if you need to. With, say, at Rubik Marines, for example. I want to get within range 12. I don't want to be shot at first turn. I want to stay off the board and then land and have an immediate impact. That one's good. That one is powerful. Because say you got a unit of Rubric Marines, for example, you set them up on the battlefield, your opponent goes first and he blows half of them away, and then you've got to march up the table firing as you go. But with this one, you can go for landing just over 9 weight or within 12. You're going to rapid fire with your Inferno bolt guns and other weaponries, Hellfire, not the Hellfire, sorry, the Soul Reaper cannon. In range, you've not lost any casualties, and you get to make the initial impact before your opponent gets to shoot. So that's helpful. Soul Flare is next. Use this strategy when a 1,000 Suns aspiring sorcerer or Scarab Occult sorcerer from your army is slain. For removing them from as a casualty, roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 6 of that model, subtracting 2 if it's a character or a vehicle. 4+, it's a mortal wound. So you cause a bit of trouble, but there's that roll, and it's only a mortal wound, and it's only going to be really effective if there's multiple units nearby. So Soul Flare's okay, but not that powerful. Fated Mutation. Use this stratagem in the fight phase just before a unit of Tzeentch Chaos spawn from your army fights. Instead of rolling d3 for the units mutated beyond reason ability, you can choose the result from the table. Nice. In addition, you can reroll the number of attacks each time it makes to the end of the phase. Nice. So that's helpful. That one's good. So, Vengeance for Prospero next is 1 command point. This is a classic 1,000 Suns one here. Use this stratagem just before a 1,000 Suns unit in your army fights in the fight phase. To the end of the phase, the unit's death to the False Emperor ability triggers on a 4+ instead of 6+ for attacks that target Space Wolves. So, classic foe there, and they get a big bonus against them. It's not all the time though, it's just at a certain point in the game when you really need it. The key combat, for example, you can 4+ hit them. It's pretty good. The Flesh Change next. 1 command point. There's loads of cheap stratagems here for 1,000 Suns. The Flesh Change. Use this stratagem at the start of any phase. Pick a 1,000 Suns infantry character from your army. That character is slain, but you can add a Chaos Spawn to your army. If you do so, set up the Chaos Spawn within 6 of the character before removing them as a casualty. Chaos Spawn created in this manner must have Tzeentch keyword and does not cost any reinforcement points in a match play game. Okay, so this is another way of getting a Chaos Spawn. It doesn't cost any reinforcement points in a match to play game. It's only a command point to do it. The only problem is that the Chaos Spawn is 33 points. And your characters, your minimum is going to be 85 or more. So why would you? Why would you do it? The only thing I can think of is if your character's on 1 wound remaining and you feel it's just about worth putting on a Chaos Spawn onto the board. But great stratagem, but then why would you exchange a decent character for a 33-point Chaos Spawn? That's the tricky bit there. Difficult situation, that one. So next one's Inferno Bolts is 1 command point. Use the stratagem before the battle. Select a 1,000 Suns vehicle from your army and select a Combi Bolter, Combi Melter, Combi Flamer, Heavy Bolter or Twin Heavy Bolter that the model is equipped with. That weapon is upgraded to 5 Inferno Bolts. Change the AP characteristic of that weapon to AP -2. So you can make your vehicles to match in with the firepower of the 1,000 Suns units. And you change the bolt gun profile for a Combi Melter or Flamer. Yeah, okay, so that's that one. Inferno Bolts. Baleful Vortex. Use this stratagem after a Mutilated Vortex beast from the army has resolved a Mutilated Vortex power. Roll a d6 to randomly select a power. The Mutilated Vortex beast immediately uses the power rolled, even if it's already used that power this phase. Furthermore, that power is automatically successful. No dice roll necessary. So that's helpful. Just auto. Yep. Is randomised though. Cycle of Slaughter then. 2 command points. Use the stratagem at the end of your fight phase. Select a Zangor unit in your army. You can fight again for an additional time. So helpful. But it's 2 command points and usually their attacks aren't going to be that devastating. So, 1,000 Suns bonuses. I still maintain that the strongest ones are regular Chaos Space Marines. Seem a little bit tame, the others, for unique Thousand Suns results. These ones here, Demon Forge, Kill Shot, Veterans of the Long War. And also Webway Infiltration may well prove very, very helpful indeed. That's a good tactical one. Just there. So, Sorcerer's Arcana now. So, this is your relics. Let's see what they get. There's a page of them here. And that is it. So, they don't get too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 to choose from here. So, you can go for a Seer's Bane. Model with a Force Sword or Power Sword. So, it becomes Strength User, AP -3, D3 damage. Right, so you go from damage 1 to damage D3. The strength of the bearer is doubled when targeting an enemy psyker or enemy units that include any models with a leadership characteristic of 9 or higher. No, that's not bad. Remember, this is free of charge, so that's not too bad. Dark Matter Crystal. Once per battle at the end of the movement phase, you can select the bearer of a friendly Thousand Suns infantry unit within 12 inches of him. Remove that unit from the battlefield and immediately set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches from any enemy models. This does not count as falling back if the unit was within an inch of an enemy model. So you can pick a unit up and deep strike them somewhere. That's pretty helpful. You'd have to remember that though, in the middle of a game, not to forget that one, because it could really help you out shifting onto an objective somewhere or turning up and supporting another unit. So that's a good tactical one, that one. You know, it's free of charge, it's just going to add a layer of tactical flexibility to your army. So that one's pretty good. Helm of the Third Eye. If your army is battle forged and the wearer is on the battlefield, roll a d6 each time your opponent uses a stratagem. 5+ to gain a command point. That is fantastic. That is very, very good. Bound to pick up some command points from that, and that is very, very helpful. So that is very, very, very good. Helm of the Third Eye. Coruscator. There's one you can't give it to named characters like Araman. It says it here, like Araman, who already has artifacts. They can't be given to him. So you can't give an artifact to him. It has to be a character, like an Exalted Sorcerer, for example. He has to take it. The Coruscator. Remember, you can pay 1 command point to get an extra one of these, or 2 or 3 command points to get an extra 2. So maybe go for these 2, get one for free, and pay the point to get another one. Or take that one, pay a command point for that, but you're bound to gain it back when your opponent starts using stratagems. So that's a clever way to play, because I think those 2 are pretty good. Within 12 of him. Remove it from the battlefield immediately. Deep strike. Yeah, it's powerful. I like that one. The Coruscator then. Model with an Inferno Bolt pistol. It becomes range 12. Pistol 3. Strength 4. AP -2 and D3. That's a fantastic one. Really good. Pistol 3. Remember, like an Exalted Sorcerer, for example, he's going to be hitting on 2+. So 3 shots, you're going to be hitting with possibly 3 of them. Strength 4, -2 and D3 damage. It's another good weapon. Athenaean Scrolls. If you roll a double when making a successful psychic test for the bearer, your opponent cannot attempt to resist that psychic power with Deny the Witch, or to negate it by any means. Note that the psyker will suffer the perils of the warp on the roll of a double 1 or double 6, and if slain by the perils of the warp, the power you're trying to manifest will still automatically fail. So that's okay. It's quite rare that you're going to get that combination. Well, it's not bad. The Prismatic Staff. Force Stave. It's +2 strength, not +1. I think it's +2 anyway. AP -1, D3 damage. But the bonus you get is the bearer can shoot and charge during a turn in which it fell back. So you can fall back out of combat and charging is your bonus with the Prismatic Staff, which is okay. Coruscator's pretty cool though. So you'd be tempted to purchase some of these. Some pretty powerful ones here. So some tough choices, and you may end up paying command points just to gain access to extra ones of these. Because these aren't bad. So that's the strongest section, I think, of the Thousand Suns, is their relics. But here could be another powerful section for them, and this is the psychic powers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover Dark Hereticus first, because this is your standard one that you get with the Chaos Space Marines. I was wondering if Thousand Suns players would have to for example, they're a fan of this one, and then you then get your what you expect in your 1000 Suns discipline. You've got 2 here, and you don't really like them, and you really like the Dark Hereticus. What do? And you could maybe take a detachment of sorcerers, like a Supreme Command detachment, paint them up for 1000 Suns. They come from the Chaos Space Marines book, and then you gain access to Dark Hereticus. I thought that could be a combination you could do, but they're in this book, so they're there, which is great news. So remember, we have, and if you want to see the full review on this, it's in the Chaos Space Marine book. Infernal Gaze, it's all charge value of 5. It's like a smite. Select an enemy unit within 18. It's not closest though. You choose the unit, and remember at this stage. Just to point out before we cover all of these, 18 inches, but that's increased to 24. Remember, you're adding 6 if you've got your Brotherhood of Psychers there. Invisible to him, roll for 3 dice, 4 or more, it's mortal wounds. Very similar to Smite. You've got Death Hex, walk charge value of 8. If manifested, select a visible enemy unit within 12 inches and visible. They ignore their invuln saves. That's horrific, very, very powerful. Could be really helpful in a crucial melee or shooting phase, just bypass the invuln save. Gift of Chaos, walk charge value of 6. Select an enemy unit within 6 of the cycle invisible to him, roll d6. If it's greater than the target's toughness, it's d3 plus 3 mortal wounds, which is so dangerous. And then if a character is slain by this power, it's a Chaos Spawn. But remember, you got to pay the reinforcement points to have that Chaos Spawn, so annoying that one. Prescience is +1 to your hit rolls. That's for combat and for shooting. Very, very helpful. So for example, you've got a unit of Terminators, you've got one of those Exalted Sorcerers nearby. You play this power, you're on 2s to hit, and with the benefit of the Exalted Sorcerer, you're rerolling 1. So that's exceptionally reliable firepower. Diabolic Strength, walk charge value of 6. Select a model within 12 of the Psyker. Add 2 to the strength and 1 to its attacks. Nice, that's helpful. You can imagine the Mortal Fiend, for example, benefiting from that. Then Warp Time, another one I'm a big fan of here as well, which I think is very powerful. Warp charge value of 6. You pick a unit within 3 inches of the Psyker. The unit can immediately move as if it was the movement phase. Very, very helpful. Things like Terminators landing, you get to move them in the psychic phase and then get to charge to a unit that's you're a lot closer to. That's very helpful. So this is I think this is a powerful discipline here, as reviewed in the Chaos Space Marine book. So it's great that you do have access to it with the 1000 Suns. And just seeing. Where is it? Wondering. I'm guessing you have to choose from the same discipline. Before the battle, generate the psychic powers for psychers that can use powers from change, Dark Hereticus or Zinch disciplines. So yes, I believe you do, because let's show you here. For example, it knows Smite and 1 psychic power from Discipline of Change. Let's just see, that's a better example. Sorcerer. It knows Smite and 2 psychic powers from Discipline Change. No, and or. No. Yeah, I wonder if this has changed here. He knows Smite psychic power and 2 psychic powers from the Discipline of Change and or Dark Hereticus. Whoa. So you're not forced to this particular model, I have to take everything from here. I think it says I'm getting this right here. We have to take everything from there. You can pick and choose, you can take 1 from each. So very powerful in your combos you can do with these. I wonder if that's the same for regular Chaos Space Marines. I don't know, maybe because 1000 Suns are so adept at psychic abilities, they can just delve in and out of these disciplines. So you really like Warp Time, but you want to use power from here, you can do it. You can mix and match. Wow. It's like being at a sweet shop. Choose you mix and match. Right, so that's powerful enough. The great news is you can take from wherever you want. I'll do Discipline of Change now. This is your regular one. Discipline of Zinch for your Zangor, Shaman type stuff. And that. So, I just want to check one more thing. Yes, and/or... Yeah, it's for him as well, Magnus the Red. So we delve into all three of those. And then want to check, here's Demon of Zinch. 2 psychic powers from Discipline of Change, Dark Reticus, and/or Discipline of Zinch. So, wow, the Demon Prince can pick a mix from all 3 of these. Wow. Very good. Alright, so Discipline of Change, and these are the ones which are new. We'll see how good they are. So Zinch's Firestorm. So Orc charge value of 7. If manifested, select an enemy unit within 18 inches of the Psyker and visible to him. Roll 9 dice. Any 6s is a mortal wound. So, not bad. You're expecting to get 1 or 2. If you roll well, who knows how many you could get. So it's similar to Infernal Gaze. So, I think, for example, this is how cool this could be. You could take a Psyker who's got access to 2 psychic powers. You could go for Smite. So you want to go for a real smitey kind of effect, just mortal wound the opponent. You can go for Smite, Infernal Gaze, and then Zinch's Firestorm, and all of a sudden you've got Smite, mortal wounds come through, Infernal Gaze, mortal wounds come through, and then Zinch's Firestorm, mortal wounds, and all of a sudden you're a Smite machine. Sorry. Yes, so that's one way of playing it. So by picking and choosing similar powers, you can give your Psykers, instead of dabbling in and being multiple roles, you may want to do that, but you can really zone them in on specific roles. You can say this Psyker's going to go after the opponent at medium range and he's going to use Smite type powers. That's his whole aim, and you can really dedicate him towards that cause. You can say I'm going to take another Exalted Sorcerer, for example, going to make him like a buffs and bonuses, and he's going to hang around with the firing line in the middle, and he's going to grant bonuses every turn, and you've got the battlefield role for him, and you can really start to give clear, distinct jobs for each of them to do because of the variety of choice. You'd need your cards laid out though, you really would. And another tip as well is that you'd want to choose as much of a variety as you can, because you can't repeat these in a psychic phase. If you say, I really like this power, Warp Time, I'm going to give it to all of my Psykers, only one Psyker can use it per turn. So you've got to keep that in mind as well. So if you went for all of these in your army, a whole spread of them, you're going to get to just do loads and loads of psychic powers in a turn. Just to be a massive aspect, a massive phase in your army. Just play this one, this one, this one, this one from all your different Psykers. You know, if you go for a big spread, maybe the best way to get the most out of your psychic phase, and then your Smite as well coming through. So this is where the power lies for Thousand Sons. You know, there's bonuses out there to give you enhancements to improve the chances of your psychic powers going off. There's stratagems that can help you out with that as well. It's all gearing you towards this powerful Psyker army. Maybe everything else is just to protect these Psykers that run the whole show. The Boon of Mutation is a Warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select a Thousand Sons character, but not a demon character in 3 inches. Roll 2d6 and consult the boon table to see what effect the power has. Without using command points, you get that bonus on the roll on the chart. So that's great. It doesn't cost you anything. Glamour of Zinch. It's a Warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select a friendly Thousand Sons unit within 12 of the Psyker. To the start of your next psychic phase, your opponent must subtract 1 from any hit rolls made for models that target that unit. So there's one of your protect and benefit ones just there. If you have a Psyker holding back, there's no worries about getting him too close. He just grants these bonuses to key units. There, that's fine. Doom Bolts, Warp charge value of 9. If manifested, select an enemy unit within 18 and visible to him. It's D3 mortal wounds. In their following movement phase, it's half the movement characteristic and cannot advance. You want to slow them down. It's only D3 mortal wounds though, and it's quite hard to get that one off. 9 you need to score. So for that reason maybe we'll go for that one. Temporal Manipulation. So Warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select a Thousand Sons model within 12. Immediately heals D3 wounds. Oh wow, that is fantastic. That is brilliant. That is fantastic. So again, you've got your sorcerer at the back. He's healing units, and then he's protecting them, giving them -1 to hit rolls. And that's his job. Brilliant. Very, very good. Weaver of Fates. There's a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select a 1,000 Suns unit of an 18 of the Psyker. Until the start of your next Psychic phase. Remember, these are all +6 inches on all of these. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, the invuln save that unit is improved by 1. Wow. Models do not have an invuln save. They instead gain a 5+ invuln. Very, very helpful. And these are all free of charge, really. And warp charge value of 6. Pretty straightforward to make that one go off. So that is an excellent Psychic. As good as that one is, this one's good as well. This is great news for the 1,000 Suns. So, a lot of the bonuses they've got in other areas, the stratagems seemed a bit of a shame. The overall army bonuses, the only real bonus is that the death to the false emperor is okay, and then the +6 to your Psychic phase. I was thinking, oh, this is a bit tame, the Codex. But now, they are powerful Psychers, they really are. So that one's Discipline of Change is good. Let's have a look at Discipline of Tzeentch next. So, Boon of Change. So warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select a friendly Tzeentch demon unit of an 18 of the Psyker, roll D3, consult the table below to see what bonus you get. It remains until the start of the next Psychic phase, or your next Psychic phase. You get extra limb, an extra attack, Mystic Strength +1 strength, or Iron Skin +1 toughness. That's okay-ish, it's not that amazing. It's okay, it's not bad. Bolt of Change, so warp charge value of 9. Yeah. Let's have a look here. It's similar to Doombolt, but it is different here. It's hard to get off on the 9. If manifested, select an enemy unit of an 18, visible to him, it's D3 mortal wounds. If a character is slain by the Psychic power, you replace it with a Chaos Spawn. But again, you've got to pay reinforcements for that spawn, you'll be holding it there in reserve, so that's annoying. That's the annoying part of that one. The Gaze of Fate. So warp charge value of 6. If manifested, you can reroll a single dice later on your turn. It's okay. I suppose it would save you using a command point, so maybe helpful. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's easy to get off. I tell you when that would be helpful. And this is what it's worth doing a spread. Is you've got your Psychic, whose ability to cast 2 Psychic powers. He's out of range of the battlefield. There's not much going on. There's nothing you can cast. I can't do anything with him. Just roll that up and give yourself a reroll. If you find yourself as a Psychic with nothing to do, or he's got a spare slot that he's not going to be able to use a power. There's that one there. If you give that to him, that's the only problem. It does take up one of your options. Treason of Tzeentch. So warp charge value of 8. If manifested, select an enemy character that's within 18 of the Psyker, invisible to him. Enemy character, excluding the opponent's Warlord. This could be a powerful creature here, or a Primarch or something. Surely not. Roll 2d6. If the result is greater than the character's leadership, you can treat the model as if it was a friendly model in your shooting, charge, and fight phase. Oh no! At the end of the fight phase, the character reverts to being an enemy model. Treason of Tzeentch. That is powerful. Charge value of 8. 8. So you'd need a good roll to make it go off, but there's some enhancements and bonuses to try and make it easier. But to actually take control of that model, shooting, charge and fight phases. Huh. Crazy. It would be helpful. I mean, for example, the enemy character could shoot at something, and then you could just charge him in against an enemy predator, for example, and then not only does he potentially cause trouble for that vehicle, but by charging he just prevents it from shooting. And that's good tactics you could use in that one. Treason of Tzeentch is helpful enough, very helpful, very helpful indeed. You could really use that in a situation and cause havoc. Flickering Flames. So warp charge value of 5. If manifested, pick a friendly Tzeentch demon unit of an 18. To your next Psychic phase, you add 1 to wound rolls for its shooting weapons. Pretty tame. Infernal Gateway. Orc charge value of 8. If manifested, select identify the nearest enemy model within 12 and visible to him. That model's unit and every other unit, friend or foe, within 3 inches suffers D3 mortal wounds. The number of mortal wounds inflicted is D6 if the power manifested is a 12 plus, if there's some bonuses you added on. That is model's unit and every unit, friend or foe, within 3 inches of that model. That is very, very powerful. So remember, it's within 12, but it becomes 18 with your 1000 Suns bonus. So you can select the opponent's got a bubble of units, all benefiting. There's a lot of tightly packed formations now in 8th edition, and you cast that, and if it goes off, you're just going to cause havoc. D3 wounds, D3 mortal wounds for multiple units. That's powerful. That one there is powerful as well, Infernal Gateway. So you say, right, I've got a Psycho, he's going to go on the aggressive, he's going to follow the assault units in, I'm going to give him Infernal Gateway, it's just going to cause havoc on the opponent, and then we'll give him Treason of Zinches. We're going to hunt down a character and get him to turn against his own army. Real trickery one, that one. Those two there, pretty good. Yeah, and you can all give nice themed psychic powers to your Psychos. Very good. So points values then here all covered, and then you do get tactical objectives specific for them as well. They'll be on your cards set that you get with these as well, so 6 of them. And that is the review for the 1000 Suns. So that's the review. Thanks to Games Workshop for sending a copy through. It's great to see the Codex nice and early, to give you early access to see what the contents are. And then it's come from Games Workshop. You usually get mine from gamingfigures.com. You can check them out. They do Games Workshop at a discounted rate, along with a whole lot of other gaming systems as well. So 1000 Suns Codex, the army bonuses, as I've mentioned earlier, I don't think are as powerful as other factions, such as Blood Angels, for example. But they have recovered with the they've received massive bonuses for the psychic powers. They really have. We know that Smite's been affected now by chapter approved, which maybe 1000 Suns players felt a knock from that, but now it's been compensated, if not more, by the emphasis and the real load of benefits you get for psychic powers. So if you're going to go for 1000 Suns, if you're thinking of collecting them, bear that in mind. Don't treat them as a regular Chaos Space Marines army. To do well with them, I think that your leaning would need to be towards multiple Psychers to gain access to all those amazing psychic powers and all those bonuses available for them. You don't have full access to the whole Chaos Space Marine Codex as well, so really you want to focus in on Psychers and then perhaps the unique units, and it'd be a nice showcase as well to use those. But a beautiful army, very strong theme. The colour scheme is fantastic for these. You've got the gold and the blue, but then also all of these colours here, this electric blue, this teal, turquoisey colour, the pink colours coming through as well, just a nice colour palette to work with. So very, very strong theme for them indeed. Fantastic newer miniatures that have come out in the past, and now 1000 Suns have their own codex to use as well. But that's the review. Leave your own comments and feedback. Are you happy if you are a 1000 Suns player, you've been using the index? Are you happier now with this codex that's come out? I think it looks pretty good. Leave your feedback there. And then also asking at the start, are 1000 Suns a powerful army or not? If you use them, have you been doing well with them as well? Are they a powerful army? Leave your comments and feedback there also. But there it is. That's the review. Keep a lookout for future reviews on the channel. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.